Welcome to Change the Narrative. This is Kim.
What up, world? This is Lamb, episode 34. Kimmy, what's good?
Nothing much, man. How you been?
Tough, rough, 2020. Still out here, man. Coronavirus still acting crazy. Cases are going up worldwide. So I just want to tell the people before we get started to please, man, wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands, man. Stay with the protocols at hand. We know everybody's getting fatigued, but hey, we got to press on and get this thing over with, man. So other than that, man, what we talking about tonight, man?
We are talking about the elections
election. Before we get on to election, man, I want to give a quick shout out to Maximum Clothing and Electronics out there in Corozal, man. Maximum have all the hottest gear, man. The freshest gear, man. Check them out. And by the way, they're about to come out with a water park.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, man. They're doing big investments down there in Belize and Corozal, man.
Sure.
So I want to tell everybody to go and just shout them out, man. Check out what they got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. You can reach out to them, give them a call. Their number is 637-8925, and they're in Corozal on number 4 Park Street, all right?
For sure, man. Again, check them out, man. They got some of the hottest things, hottest gear, shoes, clothes, whatever you need, man. It's authentic, too, so go and check them out.
Yeah, for sure. So, Lam, election, man.
Yeah, man. Election is crazy. It's crazy you say that because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went and cast my early vote, man. It took me 3 hours, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like this is the definition of voter suppression. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't want us to vote. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this election to me is unique unlike any other election. I think this is usually in the States, there's ideology we're voting on. You know, I mean, Democrat, Republican, small government, big government, Keynesian or Milton Friedman, you know, different economic beliefs and so on and so forth. In this case, that's not the case, to be honest with you, because it's more about authoritarian and democracy. I think democracy is on the ballot. I think if this guy get 4 more years, it's over. I think, you know, he's trying to be authoritarian. So I didn't really vote for something, so to speak.
Yeah.
I was more voting against something. And
I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, I enjoy having a democracy, and I think that's what I want to keep. So that's really where I was at with that. And I was willing to crawl on glass to exercise my right to vote in that aspect. So, but with that being said, man, I want to tell everybody that November 3rd is an election here in the United States. If you haven't made a plan, please do. If you want to go out there and vote early, go ahead and vote early. Just take your lawn chair, your mask and everything, and just go through it. If not, you can mail in your ballots and so forth, or just wait on election day
and go
out there and vote as well.
And in Belize, election day is November 11th.
For sure.
Everyone do the same.
Do the same thing.
Nothing
Get
different.
ready. Yeah,
Get out there and vote.
Get out there and vote. And again, social distance, wear your mask, and do what you got to do. But the question that I have for the people back home in Belize, man, is what is the different ideology between our parties, even the third parties? Because I'm confused. Do you know the difference?
I don't. I mean, out here there's that clear line, where you can just vote on, values, beliefs, and different way that they do things. In Belize, I don't know. I think
so
they're
I'll make it easy for you now.
Players in the same game.
I'll put it like this. There's a spectrum. There's a spectrum, all right? Mm-hmm. Here in the States, we have Republicans on the right, Democrats on the left. And that it goes around, comes all around.
Right.
Okay.
Independence in the middle, right?
Independence is straight in the middle.
Right.
Okay. And the extremes are in the bottom.
The fringe. Right?
The fringe ends
are
in the bottom. You know what I mean? Where in this spectrum do you think Belizean politician fits in that whole spectrum? Do you think they are more liberal? They are more moderate? They are more...
I think they're kind of center-left. I don't really...
Center-left?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of right-wing people are conservatives per se.
So I think they're both progressive parties in Belize.
Mm-hmm.
I think the PUP is a little more left-leaning
I don't know who's more for right-wing.
in theory, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
But I don't think there's a huge difference in regards to how they enact their policies. I think nepotism is still heavily in both parties. Cronyism is still very heavily influence in both parties. And guess what? The budget, there's no balance in the budget, so they're both big government. They're both, in regards to giving out contracts to buddies and friends and so forth. I mean, they're doing the same things, and to me at this point, it's just different players, the same game.
Look, man, I'll be honest with you. I don't think Belizeans vote on none of that. I think it's just a popularity contest.
And that's terrible.
Even the way that the election is structured in Belize,
Right.
If I was living in Belize, I would be voting in Belize Rural North.
Right.
And it's just two people in front of me. It's just who I like most or who had done something for me lately. It's just on the event level. No one's looking any further.
So why don't they give it a more equitable? Make it equitable for everybody. Why don't they just set up debates amongst each other with different ideas, including the third party,
know
and knows who
stand
and
for
their
what.
belief? Why don't we get to vet these people in regards to their background and what they have done and so on and so forth? What kind of qualifications these people have to even be around that type of money or that type of power? So how do we even determine that in Belize? Or we don't even do that at all?
I don't think we do.
You're laughing, but I'm dead serious.
I know. I just don't think that we do. I don't.
So there's no vetting at all. These candidates. It's just any random person if they're popular within
From
their
what
area.
I've seen, I don't see no standards in terms of you have to have this certain qualifications in Belize. From just brainstorming and thinking about the candidates that I see and who's in power now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't really see that.
So what are we voting for? What is that?
I already told you it's a popularity contest.
And that's sad. That's terrible.
And I know some people will, get all uptight about me saying that, but show me someone with a plan and tell me that you voted because that is their plan.
Well, I was watching, and I watched some of the stuff these guys. At this point, it's just rhetoric because these guys are saying a lot of stuff that they're going to do, and they're not being upfront and honest with the current situation. It's like, how can you promise anyone anything with the current financial situation, the job situation, the infrastructure situation? Like, how do you dig yourself out of this hole for you to be promising people anything?
I hear that. I have no idea. And to add to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the incumbents, as we call them, the people who have been in power, and all of them haven't been in there for 12 years, like, or PM.
Right.
Well, I don't think, right? But what are you going to do different that will win my vote for another 4 years?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Why do they deserve to get 4 more years? Or why this new party?
Right.
Are they just running on, well, people are tired of this one party, so we're the next best thing? And why haven't the third party even valued at that point? What are their options? How do we even know their options if they're not even given that choice? Or why haven't they gotten that choice or a platform for them to express their ideas?
I think there's a lot of financial limitations for the third parties.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the backing and they don't have the popularity. It's a popularity contest.
That's terrible.
And so they can't get out there, They don't have the people who are pumping money into their campaigns or whatever to try to get them out there. But I would love to see the third party or any one of them win.
I want to flip this too on the people then, because at the end of the day, the actual power is with the people.
Mm-hmm.
So what would get a person out of their chair, out of their home, to go out and cast a vote for an individual? Is it traditional? My mom is one party, my dad is one party, my grandma is one party, so that's my party? Or is it my region that I live in, my little neighborhood is this, so I'm going to be that because everybody in my neighborhood is that?
Not a reason. Another reason, some are just looking at what the people have done for their community or for them recently.
Okay, but Belize politics is a zero-sum game, so how would a party, how can a person who's not in power do anything significant to help the community? It's a zero-sum game.
It is. It's a lot of promises.
In addition to that, have we ever because earlier this year one of the big things was campaign financing. Mm-hmm. Are people even voting on that? Is that still an option for people to vote on that option on the ballot? Do we have do we have signatures going around saying that we want to have that change, or we're just leaving it up to the politician on good faith to have them police themselves?
I think it's the latter.
Wow. What about, I got another one. What about the Guatemalan issue? That was a big issue. Guatemala's about to take us over,
mm-hmm.
And it's still a huge threat. They're still playing. People are voting in people who have a solid plan in regards to dealing with that.
On our ballots.
We don't? So what are we voting for?
just who we like, you know, who we want our area representative to be.
That's crazy.
And it's sad that that's how it is.
But you can't say that because these people have so much power. It's so much at stake. People's livelihood is at stake. People's education. You know what I mean? The reason why a lot of neighborhoods are the way it is because of the power we give to these people. Like, when are we going to take this thing serious?
All that, facts. But the reality is that in Belize, we are not voting on structural stuff. We are not voting on real change.
Kim, we are in a recession, a severe recession that we don't even know how we're going to get out of this.
Right.
On the other side of coronavirus, there's going to be huge financial loss. Who's going to make hold of these businesses that's going to go under? Who's going to be paying back these banks and these bills that haven't been paid for months? How are we going to see through this? So you're telling me no one is sitting around voting on any of this? They're just voting for it today. Not even on records? What about these guys' records? Because I'm pretty sure these guys have been in politics for a long time and have records.
Look at it this way, though, right? The current party has been in government for 12 years.
You're right, 12 years.
After 4 years, they had a record. Okay. After 8, they had one. They still got in.
Right.
Did our country improve significantly? Some will say yes. Others will be like, not really. We're at year 12. Right?
But my point is this, right? My point is this. The people are so tribalized with politics and beliefs, you know what I'm saying, that both sides has been so bad for such a long time that both sides can't throw mud at each other. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as one throw mud, then I want to remind another one. So it's like,
but they still
there's no viable, no real options that you have. It's just two bad options. And again, it goes back to a third party. Why haven't a third party really got that boost that it needed for them to begin in the conversation?
Because it's up to the people, and the people are not giving a third party a chance.
That is crazy.
You know, that comes right back to the question you asked. What percentage of our people would you say are independents?
Yeah, because like I said, here in the States, 30% of the people, 30-35% are liberals. Mm-hmm. The other 25 to 28% are conservative.
Right.
And in the middle, 40% of the people are solid independent. They're the ones that
they're voting on issues. They
are the ones that decide elections
right.
every 4 years. They're the ones that people are spending billions of dollars to trying to convince to go either way, and people are switching part. They're not ideologues, so to speak. So they're voting on their self-interest, and they're willing to switch parties based on their own self-interest and how the direction of the country.
Yep.
But in Belize, unfortunately, I don't see that. In Belize, I've known people who voted for one party for 30 straight years, as if their party has not made any mistakes or any, you know what I'm saying?
Not going to give no one else a chance.
And they're not going to give no one else a chance.
Hey, they stick with the devil they know, man.
But it's crazy because how would we get change? And obviously we need change because...
And that's why we haven't gotten it. I mean, on a more serious note, you understand? Mm-hmm. That's why we haven't gotten the change that we here so desperately want. What percentage of our people in Belize so desperately want that same change that they will not just wait until election time come around to try to get something or get a commitment out of a politician, but do it all year long, all the time. That's we don't hold them accountable, these politicians accountable to nothing. We never have.
But again, there is a psyche behind all that. There's something that's causing this. It's cause and effect. People are feeling the crunch, man, and it's crazy because at one point you will say, well, when one party is in power, their people are satisfied, they're thriving, and so on and so forth, and the other one will suffer. But in this situation, man, everybody's suffering. So how can you knowingly, you know what I'm saying, say or be that biased that you will still stick with this party that you know is doing, you know what I mean? It's taking this country down the road.
Part of the reason is there is no confidence in who's on the other side because they are the same people who have been around for generations as well. You know, there's very few new blood. The new blood are technically old blood because they're just offsprings of the old ones.
Right. So they're
adopting their own. There's the same policies and
ideas.
everything.
Yeah.
So they're looking at it like, okay, I'm not happy. Right now it's a bad situation. The whole world. The first thing they're going to say, "Oh, this is not just a Belize problem. This is a world problem."
Right.
That's the first bailout.
All right. That's
right?
the way. Let's go where to start. If it's a world problem, though, you want to vote on the issue to change, because I want to emphasize we have huge structural problems.
Oh yeah.
We have serious infrastructure problems.
And it's so bad because
medical problems,
it's been adding
education problems.
No one's paying any attention to none of those.
Self-sufficient. I could go on and on. Like every major, every major issues you want to look at, there's huge problems. And not to mention the financial hole that we're in, and this with the tourism is down and money's dried up. I don't know, how you can seriously go about telling people you will give them X, Y, and Z when where you get this money from? Look, how are you going to generate this money?
It's just empty promises, just to get a vote. It's just short-term. Our politicians. I mean, this is a politicians thing worldwide.
But Kim, I hear you say that. I hear you say that, right? But at the end of the day, man, the power lies with the people. So at what point we gonna point the finger at the people?
Now that is the
and
good
have
question.
them be accountable for
Correct.
Putting these guys, because again you make it seem as if these are the two candidates and this is all the people have. No, the people selected these two people. They had to go through a process to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a choice that people decided they want to go with. So what is forcing a handful of people to go and select either one of these candidates to represent their area or their division? And what is the qualification of that person? That's what I'm trying to get at. What makes this person stand out that you will entrust this person with the reins of the government, the financial backing of the government to represent you as a constituent?
Popularity?
Oh,
I just, I don't want it to seem like I'm bad-mouthing the political system or the way we do things in Belize, right? But there is a reality, and you touched on it. Us as a people, we have not held anyone accountable, so we are to be held accountable for the situation that our country is in.
Right.
No one, we talked about that the other day, where the people that we see can make a change will look at you and be like, man, I'll just stay in my corner and do me.
Right.
And that's a mentality that you see a lot in Belize. That's a lot.
So
who's holding who to the fire?
So let me tell you something. So those same people that say stuff like that they'll just hold their own corner and they shouldn't be complaining then.
But they complain. Because everyone complains.
They shouldn't be complaining because you are complicit with the problem. You are the problem at that point. Because if you see some, say some.
Right.
If you know better, do better. That's just simple maths, man.
But we're not doing. It's not simple.
It is simple
to say, but nobody does it.
It is simple. You know what I mean?
That's why things like you mentioned, campaign finance law. It was hype for 30 days and then it's gone.
Right.
No, and we all know.
So who's going to police these guys?
They police each other. They police themselves.
Wow.
When the election come around, it's like, okay, so there's an election and
he's still taking bribes
too. It's just an event. To me, it's just an event. It's one big high opportunity for them to spend money, make empty promises, people to go and vote on what? There's nothing that changes.
And that's sad. That makes me sad because, again, man, I really like Belize is not a bad country. Belize is not even a poor country. Belize is just poorly managed. Belize is running afoul on ideas.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of young kids that has a lot of talent down there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that can make a difference, not only in Belize, but in this world. But we are not giving these people basic hope. You know what I'm saying? And that's very unfortunate, you know what I mean, the way you're describing it, because it's like people's lives are at stake based on the decisions these people make. And for them, it's like you said, it's like they're playing tic-tac-toe or dominoes or something. It's all a game to them.
Like, for instance, right now, things are bad in Belize. Right?
Bad everywhere.
But let's talk about Belize for a second, right? Things are bad. Like, in terms of the have-nots, there's a lot of have-nots. Like,
the coronavirus really shut a lot of jobs down. A lot of small businesses were weren't able to, survive this and went under. So people are relying on the government for basic subsistence and food and so on and so forth.
So you would think a time like this more than ever, or people would make a stand and say, look, man, there got to be certain changes.
But Kim,
are we doing that?
But I saw a lot of protests earlier in the year in regards to politician corruption and all this stuff. Where are these people now?
How many did you see?
I saw.
I mean, you saw protests with a few people. There are people who try, but again, it's the people who have to, the population who have to go and back those people. I can have a great idea and I can stand for something, but then I need to rally the troops, right? And if the troops are just not on board, don't have the backbone, just not on that, just okay, with the status quo, then what do you do?
Man, you just make it seem like it's gloom and doom. And like I said, Belize has so much talent. Belize is a rich country. Belize just need proper management, man. So that's why I'm not too down on it that much. I just don't understand how people don't get that concept. And I think these guys are doing a good job by dumbing the people down so much, make these people low information voters that they can't tell the difference.
Right.
And if I as a voter are arguing about it to another person why my candidate is less corrupt than your candidate, then the politicians win. And that's all I'm seeing with a lot of my friends and people who are enthusiastic about going out and vote. They're more arguing about who's less corrupt.
That's the line of attack.
Who's less corrupt, rather than who's going to take this country to the 21st century with major ideas, and who's going to tackle some of the major infrastructure issues that we're having within this country. I don't hear that conversation. I hear is your man is corrupt, my man is corrupt, but mine is less corrupt than yours.
Right.
Or mine were corrupt 15, 20 years ago, so you should forget about that. Yours are corrupt today.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. It's all like it's a cat and mouse game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it really doesn't add up to me, and I try to stay out of it because I realize that if I put myself in a situation, then they both would get mad at me, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But, like you said earlier, simple thing like a debate. Not even the two people running for prime minister of our country.
So why haven't you have a debate?
Are doing debates.
I think they should have a debate for all the representatives.
There's 31 different constituencies.
Okay.
We should be having,
the
these
third
two
party
people and the third parties.
They should be on the stage.
Correct.
And we should hear their ideas.
Correct.
And have the constituents choose which one of these guys is best for the public.
That's right.
And there should be a standards in regards to what it takes for you to be a representative in your area. You just shouldn't be just a regular person off the street. You know what I mean? How, if you're a crook, then how do we know you're a crook if you're not vetted? So what kind of vettedness is going on with the government? It's just a friendship cronyism nonsense is going on? Someone
take interest or they move up from, they were village council and then they move on.
But what makes you a village council? How did that process go from you being a village council? Who vote that?
The people vote.
But yeah, I know they vote, but what makes you stand out different from another person?
You're asking the same question, right?
Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? For us, man, we like these candidates got to be vetted. We got to know their taxes. We got to know everything about some of these people.
Man, we can't say that too loudly right now, man.
Yeah, this guy was the exception, and guess what? Our vote is our protest because we know who this person is now, and we, it's up to us to make that change. And guess what? So far, over 40 million people already voted, has made their voice been heard, breaking records,
right,
to make sure that this never happens again.
Right.
But in Belize, what is the accountability? What is the, how do we hold these people accountable?
I don't know. Maybe some of our audience members will answer some of these questions for us.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. The prime minister is retiring, so he would never be held accountable.
No.
He would never be held accountable.
He's just passing that baton
along,
and then he's going to retire.
He's just doing just enough to go ahead and ride off in the sun.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
And the cycle continues. You understand? The cycle continues. We have to get to a point where people are holding each other and our government accountable so we can actually start seeing change.
Right.
We can't let these people put out these elaborate plans and say, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And then those plans get shelved for another 4 years and come back up 4 years
thing
time
is for the
from
people.
now.
My thing is for the people. Like, you came up with all these elaborate things that you planning to do. How are you planning to enact that? And give me concrete ways of how you plan to enact it, and set up a platform for it. You know, I notice a lot of these people when they do like these shows or they get online and they speak.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take questions. It's always a put together. Put together, little 20-minute video of them telling the people,
this is what I'm going to do.
This is what I'm going to do. But it's
Promises.
never a situation where they are saying something and they're actually getting questioned by the people.
Right. Let's dig a little deeper into that. How are we going to do this?
So do people have at least town hall meetings?
I believe so.
They have town hall meetings where
I believe so. I remember going to a town hall meeting
and
before.
Do the people go participate and ask these people these questions like how it is going to get done?
Right. On the area or the constituents level, yes.
Right. Okay.
As far as I know, yes. Village council meetings,
right.
Town hall meetings,
but
yes. They have those things.
The question that I have, listen. The question is, you could have a town hall meeting, but if you're having a town hall meeting with only your people that's going to vote for you, then that's kind of productive.
Yeah, but that's on the people. A town hall meeting is open to everyone.
Is it really? Is it advertised? Is it advertised to the people for them to come out and
yes, it is.
Okay.
So if only your people decide to come out, then that's on the others.
And the reason why I think it happens like that because people are conditioned to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is my side, that's your side.
Right.
It's a conditioning at this point.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest problems we have in Belize.
Wow.
It's a tribalism thing.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know, it's just I'm just gonna vote who I like, or I'm gonna vote who my people vote, and I'm not voting on anything.
So why vote? That's my question.
You know, but then you proudly say you vote, and they're all enthusiastic about an election.
I'm for people to vote, but if you're gonna vote for the right reasons. You know,
vote for something.
Vote for a purpose. Vote for an idea. Vote for something that you actually believe in. Mm-hmm. Don't just vote because it's the thing to do, or vote because my mom is something or my dad is something, so I should vote. Or don't vote because this is my friend or my homeboy. Because again, the decisions that these guys make will determine what your life's going to be like, or the future generation life going to be like. And for the last 40 years, we have 40 years of evidence showing that the decisions that these guys make has not only cost lives,
mm-hmm.
but it's put us in huge debt. We're not seeing any kind of progression in regards to education. Our infrastructures are crumbling still. And, as you know, there's no progression towards the future. So, listen, man, I want to encourage everybody to go out and vote.
Please do.
Please do. You know, I mean, who you vote for, that's your prerogative.
Right.
But at the end of the day, this conversation is more about why we should vote.
Why we vote.
And what are we voting for.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is Changing Narrative, man. Episode 34, man. You know what I mean? Check us out next week. We should be back again. You know what I mean?
And check us out on changingnarrative.com as well, okay?
Yes, indeed.
Or anywhere you get your
podcast.
podcast.
Anywhere on the podcast, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Take it easy.
28.